Sorry, we're screaming. You want to swear people in the daytime?
Anyways, I got that done.
You know.
Really like it.
I'll sell you the delegate as much as I possibly.
You do such a good job.
Of delegating?
Clear.
I've seen you do it before.
Yeah, Mr. Goodman.
You're probably a notary, right? You don't want to admit you're a notary?
I don't do deposition.
You don't?
This is all we do. I'm not.
We've had hearings.
I've been working with some way back.
You used to do that, yeah.
Please.
We had a couple big cases.
I thought you worked for the city. I worked at so much. Oh, that was,
Yeah.
His place.
okay, that was, I was like, I knew.
It seemed like a motor basis. I thought I was Supreme.
No, it was here. I've been at the police right here. Long time. But you did a good job. That's where.
Oh, I don't, you know, it's out of my purview, you know?
You're an attorney.
Robert, what he does, doesn't swear. Lawyer can swear.
I can do it. You don't.
I mean, if you're taking another doctor answer, yes.
But you don't really do anything about it.
I've never done that.
Much, eh?
We're really like a bailiff, you know, they're courts. We start? Yeah. I got softball game code here. All right, you ready, Tony?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna call the April Graphics Commission into session. Jamie, do we have any preliminary business we need to attend to?
You're not.
Okay, then we can call our first case, but Lolita's walking in now. While she's walking in, since Robert's not here, can anyone who plans to testify here today, please raise your right hand and swear that you will, all the testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
Okay. We can now call our first case, which is GC 24-002, 1545 High Road. High Road? Boy Road? Huey Road. Hugh Road. Okay. Mr. Smedley, your case.
1545 Hugh Road, located on the south side of Hugh Road, approximately 250 feet west of Norwood Street. It's zoned R2 and in the North Linden Area Commission. 17.8 acre site is currently developed with an elementary school and a middle school. Surrounding uses include primarily single unit residential to the east, west, and north. Additional multi-unit residential to the north, a park directly to the south with commercial further to the south. The applicant proposes to install a new wall sign, is requesting a variance to increase the graphic area of the wall sign from 64 square feet to 111 square feet, and to increase the allowable height of the wall sign from 12 feet to 29 feet. The North Linden Neighborhood Plan Amendment states that signs are recommended to be placed inside on buildings such that they are keeping with the scale, the size of the building and general streetscape. And C2P2 design guidelines state that wall signs should not interfere with architectural details besides to fit within the building's facade design, and signage should be a logical and complementary component of the design of a building facade due to consistency with both the North Linden Neighborhood Plan Amendment and C2P2 design guidelines. Planning support the proposal as presented. Vision Track Management has no comments. The North Linden Area Commission recommends approval with a vote of 5-0. And staff can recommend approval of the requested variances because the proposed sign will be set back significantly from the right of way, and increased graphic area is necessary for visibility. It should be noted that this will be the only sign located on this elevation, and the only other sign located on the property for this building is an existing ground sign.
Okay. Can you please state your name for the record?
Certainly. My name is Dave Perry. I'm here as agent for the Columbus Board of Education.
Okay, and please go ahead and present your case.
Yeah, this is the Huey Road Elementary School. The Board of Education is interested in better identification of the building with the proposed sign. If this is not illuminated, it's set back about 280 feet from the Huey Road right away. And so it's a variance to the size and height of placement on the building, but the Board of Education is interested in a better identification in their building but is not interested in building a new ground sign.
Is this legal non-conforming use? That's why it's deemed residential? That's what I mean.
It is zoned residential. It would be it's under the graphics code for non-residential uses, institutional uses in a residential district.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, are schools primarily in a residentially zoned?
They are.
I mean, that, because I was looking at that too, I'm thinking like, what do you need a variance for? But I
Right.
get it if it's the residential thing, so.
Every residential district permits public school and
I thought it got rezoned to like institutional or
It's not
something.
technically legal non-conforming, it's just a permit and something.
But the graphic code doesn't really speak to wall signs in the residential chapter.
right.
That's the issue.
Is this addressed by our new code, Jane?
No, it's not.
I'm just curious. Is anyone else in the audience like to speak to this case? Okay. Since this is a variance, we will need to approve or vote on the finding of fact. Can I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the finding of facts as stated by the applicant and staff.
Second.
Great, we can vote on that.
Mr. Cavalers,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt,
Yes.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Ms. Brumbaugh,
Yes.
Chair Clifton.
Yes, and now can I have a motion to approve the application based on finding of fact? Could I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, go ahead and vote.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt,
Yes.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Mr. Brumbaugh,
Yes.
Mr. Cavalers,
Yes.
Chair Clifton.
Yes, your application is approved.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Next case, GC 24-003, 8890 Lyra Drive. Please come forward. Mr. Kirk?
Yes. 8890 Lyra Drive is located on the east side of Lyra Drive, approximately 632 south of Gemini Place. It is part of the Far North Columbus Communities Coalition and existing zoning is LC4 district. The approximately 5.8 acre site is currently developed with an office building. Surrounding uses include an apartment building to the north, parking lot, and an office building to the south, highway to the east, and a mixed-use apartment building to the west. The applicant proposes to install a new parapet sign, and the applicant is requesting variances to install a second wall sign on the wall or that portion of a wall not enclosing said use or activity, and to allow a wall sign serving an individual use to be located on a wall enclosing the top floor. Would be right here is the second sign. The first existing sign is right here. So you can see in this photo here. So the other sign will be going on this side, mirroring the Bank of America sign. Planning supports this proposal. The far north area plan states signs should be compatible with the general facade of the building, not interfering with architectural lines or details of which this proposal is consistent. Staff encourage moving the sign inward to more closely align with the Bank of America signs indent, and I believe this current graph that we're looking at reflects that change. The Division of Traffic Management has no comments, and the Far North Columbus Communities Coalition has recommended approval of the request variance, voting unanimously. Staff recommend approval as the existence multiple wall signs identifying multiple tenants of similar office complexes is not incongruent with the surrounding area. Likewise, the two resulting signs would be identifying the two biggest tenants of this office building, and the inclusion of a sign mirroring the existing sign on the other side of the building would provide visual balance to that facade. Finally, the size of the sign is not egregious, and the fact that it is highway facing is also a mitigating factor. We do recommend the planning has stated that the applicant will move the sign inward more closely aligned with the Bank of America signs, and then again, I believe this change is compliant with that condition. Sure.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Bruce Sommerfeld.
And you've been sworn in,
Yes, sir.
and you agree to the condition recommended by city staff?
I do.
Okay, please go ahead and say your case.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We took this, as staff mentioned, through the Far North Coalition and had some discussion with them, and they too made the suggestion, much like staff did, of trying to match this and be themed as best we could with the existing sign for the Bank of America that's on that facility. So we were ready for that discussion when we subsequently went to the Polaris Design Review, who requested the same, but also thought that the colors were a little loud and should be brought in to match some of the colors of Bank of America and so forth. After much discussion, we did make the sign the same size and the same location or indent as Bank of America, and it'll be the same detail and the same installation technique, thus balancing that facade of the building. Not unlike a large percentage of buildings in that zoning, they do have multiple high-rise above second-story level major tenant identification signage. So we're asking for some leeway and variance in order to be able to demonstrate and get a functional sign for this tenant. We feel that the large freeway-oriented facility has an elevation, space, and frontage to support 2 anchor tenants, both of which individually lease a complete floor. I think Bank of America's on the 5th floor, and Fiserv will be on the 4th floor. So the second variance is to request a sign located on a facility that isn't occupied by the tenant. The need to have the sign higher up is to aid with the visibility up and down the freeway there, I-71, because with the setback and the demographics, it's nice to have the good visibility in that facility. Like many others in the immediate vicinity, zoning district of development was designed to allow for and have the design of this visual intent and approach. The development was designed with the intent for long-distance visual sightlines that are functional only at that parapet level. You're actually looking at the ramp on that elevation. The freeway is quite a bit lower. Without this allowance, it is unlikely that operations will have a reasonable rate of return, and granting this variance will not be injurious or negatively impact the district, as many others have been afforded this precedence.
What is Fiserv? What's a kind of company? Financial company. Anyone have any questions?
They've got their name on quite a few major league sports.
So just the Fiserv letters are illuminated, the backing panel are not.
Correct.
Yeah, like doesn't the parapet go above the roof? It's tough to tell from the visual.
Yeah.
So it does extend over the roof.
Partially though.
Yeah.
The roof deck is below that, at the bottom of the sign, if you will.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any more questions? Does anyone else in the audience have anything to testify about this case? Okay, then. This is a variance, so we will need a motion to approve the finding of fact. Anyone?
I'll make a motion to adopt this finding of fact summary offered by staff as well as statements by the applicant.
I'll second.
Okay, we can vote on it.
Mr. Hoyt,
Yes.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Mr. Rumbaugh,
Yes.
Mr. Cavalier,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Chair Cooper.
Yes, and can I have a motion to approve the application based on the finding of fact?
So moved.
I'll second.
You can vote.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Mr. Rumbaugh,
Yes.
Mr. Cavalier,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt,
Yes.
Chair Cooper.
Yes, we're approved. We have a routine going here. Like, okay. Third case, GC 24-004 2685 East Livingston Avenue. Anyone?
Sorry, I was sleeping back here.
It's just totally okay. I get it. Mr. Smedley.
GC 24-004 for 2685 East Livingston Avenue, located on the south side of East Livingston Avenue between Woodwood Road and Kenwood Road. It's zoned ARO apartment office district, and it's in the Mid-East area commission. The 3.55 acre site is developed with a multi-unit senior living facility. Prime uses are all single unit residential. The applicant proposes to install a monument sign and is requesting variance to reduce the setback for a ground sign from the abutting street right of way line from 15 feet to 2 feet. The property was subject of CB 20-058 for variances to the parking setback line, minimum number of parking spaces in building line. The Livingston East area plan states that each development is recommended to have one ground sign that is in keeping with the scale and size of the building and general streetscape, and their design should relate to the general theme of the surrounding districts and TPUD2 sign guidelines. State that in suburban areas, monument signs or monument style signs are recommended and should not be taller than 6 feet. As the proposal is consistent with these guidelines, planning supports the proposal as presented. Division of Traffic Management have no comments. The East Area Commission recommends approval of the request of variance, voting unanimously. And staff can recommend approval because as part of CB 20-058, the property owner dedicated 60 feet of additional right of way, which if the sign were to meet setback, you would put the sign in the landscaping adjacent to the parking lot.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Steve Moore with More Signs.
And you've been sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and state your case, please.
I guess the Stephen answered my one in question is why is the setback so far back? Apparently it was moved back. That answers that question, which I couldn't answer for the Mid-East Area Commission. So as you can see, with that setback and the placement of the parking lot, it really only leaves us about, with the bushes and the landscaping in front of the parking lot, it leaves us about 10 or 12 feet, maybe. Well, you can see the 15-foot setback line is right at the edge of the landscaping, which is new and probably going to be enhanced. So we're asking for that 2-foot setback so we can set an 8-foot wide sign in there, 8 foot being the outside of the columns. It is a monument style sign. We think it's a pretty elegant sign, does go well with the building. Dimensional lettering on the sign, just a painted sign. With stonework and masonry work. That's about it, unless you have any questions.
Anyone have any questions? Was there anyone else in the audience that'd like to speak to this case? Okay, could I have a motion to approve finding of fact because you're another variance?
I'd like to make a motion that the finding of facts as adopted by the applicant and the staff.
I'll second.
Mr. Rumble,
Yes.
Mr. Cavalers,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt,
Yes.
Ms. Augustine.
Yes.
Yes, can I have a motion to approve the application based on finding of fact?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Cavalers,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt,
Yes.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Mr. Rumble,
Yes.
Director Ruben.
Yes, your application is approved.
Thank you, Chairman. It's
Thank
been a
you.
while since I've been here. Congratulations on your appointment.
Oh, thank you. Next case, GC 23-036, 3651 through 3675 Sullivan Avenue. Mr. Smedley.
GC 23-036 for 3651 through 3675 Sullivan Avenue. Located on the southeast corner of Sullivan Avenue and Wedgewood Drive. It's zone C4 and located in Greater Hilltop Area Commission. The 3.8 acre site is currently developed with a shopping center and parking lot. Surrounding uses include commercial to the east and west, manufacturing to the north, and a mix of apartment residential and single-unit residential to the south. The applicant proposes to legitimize the existing window signage and is requesting a variance to allow window signs to cover 100% of the window area. The applicant is seeking to resolve a zoning code violation which was issued on January 31st of 23. Almost citywide planning policies guidelines recommend signage be a logical and complementary component of an overall storefront design, as well as stating buildings should not be dominated by graphics. Staff requests wall signs to the east of the windows and doors be removed. Staff notes that signage appears permanent in nature. Division of Traffic Management has no comments. The Greater Hilltop Area Commission recommends approval with a vote of 12-0-3. Staff recommends disapproval of the request as submitted. The proposed window graphics are excessive and C2P2 sign guidelines state that buildings should not be dominated by graphics. Applicant claims that the signing displayed is otherwise code compliant regarding the total graphic area. Staff could support an increase in window coverage up to 50% with the following condition: that the removal of ground level wall signage east of the main entrance, as well as window outline lightings.
Okay.
Brian, I'm sorry, bringing this up now. I represent a tenant in this shopping center. Don't represent the owner. Do you think I need to choose? I don't know.
Yeah, you just represent a tenant in the strip,
Yeah.
but not
it's
this,
actually
yeah,
out.
but not this, there's no issue.
Okay, thank you.
Can you please state your record, or name for the record?
Craig Moncrief, attorney for the applicant, who is also a tenant in the shopping center.
And you've been sworn in.
Correct.
Please go ahead and present your case.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Like I said, my name is Craig Moncrief. We represent, with Plank Law Firm, we represent La Michoacana Mexican Market, which I think is a unique and cool story. It's a, it's a local grocery store, and they've expanded to about 8 different stores here in central Ohio, even out to Dayton. And what they typically do is they find properties in places like Sullivan Avenue, Whitehall, Broad Street, Bethel Road, and they put grocery stores where maybe a place like Kroger or Giant Eagle would not, which I personally have an appreciation for because I've gone before a few boards for apartments, zonings, or residential properties in places like that. And one of the first questions I'll get is, how can we prove this? There's a food desert here, or where is everybody going to shop? So I like the fact that I think they provide a very good service, and they've got a good business model. And as you can see, it's been successful here. Now, with that, there are some inherent difficulties when you take that type of business model. This is an old shopping center. It's from the 1970s. They've been effectively the anchor tenant there for 22 years. There is not freestanding signage outside of the building. It's got a fairly large setback from the street, so they have to get a little creative as far as how they display their products and things like that. And one of the ways they do it is these window signs, which, as you can see, I wouldn't say they're eye-popping by any manner. They're not, they don't have lights on them. They're not spinning around. They just say, hey, we've got food here, we've got drinks here, here's what we've got. As part of this, we've agreed to no problem taking away the little light that goes around the signage. We also agreed to remove the door signage. This is an internal wallpaper, so there's not issues with vision. They also have a security guard who's there the entire time it's open, so there was no concerns about people coming in and out or vision or anything like that. And that a lot of these factors were helpful with the Hilltop Area Commission, which voted 12-0 to approve. Like I said, because this is a long-standing business, one that they've worked with, and they agreed to take down the door signs. I think another condition was that no other wall signs would be there. You can kind of see one to the left corner that is gone, and we agreed to remove all future wall signs. There's that's fine as well, but respectfully requesting that commission grants the full variance to allow the window signs. Understanding C2P2 requests not maybe full coverage, but in light of the circumstances here, the business and the fact that it's not exactly eye-popping and just kind of goes through products, we're requesting that they are able to cover the windows as shown.
So just based on that picture there, it doesn't show 100% of window covered. So, I mean, assuming that's still in place, why are you requesting for 100%?
Mr. Cooper, the windows to the right are Family Dollar.
Oh, that's why. Sorry.
Just that.
I understand. So that just that area is tenants. Got it.
Yeah, and the doors will be removed. The window signs.
Well, I guess that's the same question. If the doors were removed, it wouldn't be 100%.
I guess I interpret it to mean that it's got to be 100% of each window, or so to speak. It's like each window has a percentage calculation. So it'd be 0% for the door, 100% for the other windows.
Total area, right?
Is it an average of the total area or is it?
Right, it's per
It's per window?
25%. So if you consider this one window, you only cover 25%. So the door would be one window and these two would be one window.
So it's across the board. In other words, just because the doors don't have signage on it, you wouldn't average it out with the other two.
Right.
I'm sorry, I missed it. Why did they want to begin? Is it because of the sun? I don't know. I'll just get that.
First and foremost, it doesn't exactly, help visually as far as if they removed them, it's a smaller footprint, so you're gonna be looking at the back of a fridge anyway
Okay.
at the end of the day. And two, it just helps with general signage. There's no freestanding sign or anything like that, so any little bit helps.
So there's like equipment on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's fridges.
The violation was issued in January of 23, so like 16 months ago?
Yeah, it's a tricky situation where they're part of a shopping center. And I'd like to think it was kind of collateral damage for general violations in the area. So we've tried to work with the property owner to get everything done at once. It's been a bit tricky. So we're taking care of what we can for our property. So that explains a bit of the delay.
Yeah. Well, we've had some situations before where there was violations issued as a result of some other incidents, for sure.
Staff feels that 50% of each individual window is still fairly generous for advertising for each space and for covering the windows.
Are the equipment that's behind those two other windows, do they go all the way up to cover the entire window?
That was my understanding.
They're like coolers full of product or something?
Yes.
It's the one. Is there pictures of like the entire shopping center that we have, like that you can zoom out or?
That's what we can go to the street here.
Want to see the ones that are coming next?
Well, yes. So there is a ground sign, but it's allocated to a different tenant that's bigger in the center?
I don't think there's even a sign out there for any, general shopping center sign. There's none.
You said that this store has been there for 20 years?
Yes.
And were the signs there for 20?
That's it, yeah.
No, they haven't been there for 20 years, but they've been there for 3 years.
There's the
And that's been removed.
We're only improving the windows, right?
Correct.
You said those side signs have been removed?
Correct. Yeah, and they're shown on the sign plan. That was included, that there's.
So is the signage at the location, you have the main sign and then next to it has a check cashing sign, I guess. So those are legal altogether, square footage wise meets the graphics code. So that's not a question at this point. And then all those other signs are removed down below. Is that what you're saying?
Correct, yeah. So there's a sign plan with the application package. So we retained a sign company to make sure that there wasn't a, because that was raised by the city as far as whether total signage would overdo it. So without the wall signs, it is under the total signage requirement.
I mean, just me looking at it, seems like the code's pretty generous on the 25%. I have a hard time voting for this as variance. We have had other cases where we've had window graphics and had to define, certain things about that, but, I just can't, I don't think I can support that.
And I'll reiterate too, this was a 12-0 vote at the Hilltop Area Commission. We've had a good relationship with them, just some background on this.
So when are the door signs going to be done?
They're going to be removed. I mean, as soon as the graphics plan's approved.
When you met with Hilltop, area commission, did they reference any reason for voting for this? And were there any strong things that we should be hearing as well?
Well, one big thing was there's always a security guard at the property, at the door. So there wasn't any concerns about people coming in and out, any safety issues. And that was even before we removed the door signs or agreed to remove the door window signs. Big thing was they're see-through as far as people inside can see out. Like I said, there's,
So those are two-way graphics on the windows?
yeah,
You can see out?
yes.
Okay.
Like I said, the idea, a lot of people have been to the store and knew that there wasn't much, you'd see into the windows anyway. And I'd say just a general appreciation too for the business and the service they provide to the area. No other grocery stores really close.
Yeah, thank you.
Since there's no monument sign or ground sign identifying the shopping center, I mean, is it possible to apply for that? Would that be permitted under the sign plan?
I'm sure it could. Once again, tricky issue with shopping center, you've got, a property owner you'd have to get approval from them as well. I'm sure that'd be pricey as well to get done. So I don't know the extent of it. It's been, like I said, it's been tough to work with the property owner on getting this done, so I can't imagine how long and arduous that would take.
But you haven't asked.
No.
Would be more comfortable those door signs are already down.
I mean, happy to take them down ASAP.
Did you refresh my memory? You said you'd be comfortable with 50%, but not 100%?
Correct, because the code allows 25, so being comfortable with 50% is already very generous.
Steve, would you say that? Because really, if you look at the whole store, I mean, if this was a store that had windows all the way across, obviously you get more square footage, but part of it's, not windows. Is that kind of how I could see that.
Because it's all kind of dense, it's kind of visual clutter. I mean, it distracts the eye quite a bit, right there.
I think visually that the bottom 10% is covered by carts. So that part's already kind of covered up for part of the windows. And the upper part is really just kind of a branding element. That if that lower 10% in the upper portion were removed, it wouldn't change the graphic. But it might get us closer to the 50% number. Just a thought.
It might look a little bit more cluttered too, because those other signs are up. He said that those
Yeah.
will be removed. You can table it and then come back with the signs removed and the door removed, and then we can, and then meet the 50%. Then I will be more comfortable voting for it at that time. I mean, it's just me though.
I mean, based on the testimony that these have only been up a few years, it's going to be difficult for the commission to perceive a hardship when it was, obviously, it was either configured differently prior or it was set up with those signs not in place before. So I don't think a hardship necessarily was recently accrued, based on the facts.
Street view shows it without them. But it's true to 2019, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Which looks better.
Yeah, I would recommend you work with city staff.
There's no January 31st. So sorry about that.
Yes, but they must have remodeled or something.
The code violation was issued on January 31st of 23.
Right.
That's
16.
when they were cited, that's not when people spell.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the testimony was it was 3 years probably.
And I think, thinking about it more, I think there's room to work with there. I like the idea of, I guess, if we could take some from the bottom and the top, I think there's, like was said, there's room to still have graphics up there. So, thinking about it more, I think 50% would work.
Yeah, because if we vote today, it's probably gonna be a no, and then that's it. If you table it and go and work with the staff, then you can.
Understood. Yeah, my understanding is the staff is recommending 50%. Would 50% work? So with that, I think we can.
And
get that.
removal of the red sign.
Yeah, we can add those.
Yes.
I mean, are you comfortable with that without it seeing the revised plan?
Would we want to revise plan?
I think it's in, if you look at the plan that was provided, there's no signs there.
We should take, yeah, I feel like we should approve what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Like this sign package that was provided,
You've never sent me a copy of that.
I sent it to, I know I sent it to the city, but this page here doesn't have it. I mean, worst case, if we got a table to provide this, or even if we can get it on record, but this shows it without
You
the,
can submit it and admit it to evidence if you want.
yeah, if that can be done.
Well, just so we're all on the same page, these 3 additional signs we're talking about, they're gonna be removed. I don't think they were installed with permits, correct?
Correct.
So there's nothing there's nothing that would be approving them today. So that would still be in violation. So if the commission voted to approve the increase of window signs 50%, 25% would not in any way validate those signs. That
Yeah. No,
achieve the goal.
fair point. I don't think we should be promoting,
But and then to Ms. Augustine's point, if she still wants the door windows, we could make that a condition as well, that only the windows would have the 50%.
no, I understand. I don't know if we should be, promoting, violating the code and then passing something while it's still in violation without any proof that actually complied. So that's
That's a great point.
And I didn't say the doors, he said that they were gonna already move the doors, correct?
I mean, they will absolutely remove them if they,
No, you said before that you were gonna remove the door signs anyway. So that's why I was like, with the door signs removed.
yeah, so I guess is that the request that they remove them and then,
I think you can appreciate it's a little different situation when you're asking for forgiveness in an application as opposed to requesting for it in advance.
yeah,
And I think the leniency here is probably related to that. So I'd recommend you table it and come back. And I mean, sure, we approve a table and then make it clean and comprehensive when we come back so that we know what we're approving exactly.
so I guess updated graphics plan, you're saying that shows the less signage?
Yeah, just city staff,
Okay.
satisfaction.
Well, this is a variance, though, not a graphics plan.
No, but I'm saying submitting everything, telling city staff all the violations have been cured. And here is our proposed plan of what it will look like with reduced 50% variance request.
And
then-
I guess the only actual violation was for, I believe, the window sign percentage.
Well, and all of the signs that are just installed without a permit you were talking about,
But, okay,
which are still there.
they're not there.
No, they're
The
not.
red, but the red part is, which is,
The window signs would still fall under that.
Oh, the window sign, I'm talking about the wall sign, sorry, there's confusion.
This is current as of November. It looks like those signs have been.
Those are still.
Well, yeah, they're whole, that's fine.
They put like pamphlets or.
Yeah.
Those are former dock doors.
I think they're making us like big plastic and big outs. Yeah.
Big takeout.
so we'd like to table.
Yes,
Can
yeah,
I have a motion to table this application?
Motion to table, application number GC 23-036, applicant work with the city staff.
I'll second. Okay, we can vote on it.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Augustine?
Yes,
Mr. Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Chair Gruber?
Yes, and your case is tabled until next time.
thank you.
Good, thank you. Next case is GC 23-045, 4425 East Livingston Avenue. Please come forward. Mr. Kirk.
3425 East Livingston Avenue is located on the southeast corner of South Hamilton Road and East Livingston Avenue. It is part of the Mid-East Area Commission and existing zoning is C3 Commercial District. The 0.46 acre site is currently developed with a gas station. Surrounding uses include a gas station and shops to the north, shops and offices to the south. a fire station, and single unit blinds to the east, and shops and offices to the west. Applicant proposes to replace a damaged pole sign used to display fuel pricing information. Applicant is thus requesting variances to allow a pole sign to display a changeable copy for fuel pricing, to allow a ground sign, that one has been removed actually. We are going to have the base for that. To reduce the setback for a ground sign from 15 feet to 18 to 8 feet, to increase the allowable height for a ground sign from 6 feet to 20 feet, and to increase the allowable graphic area for a ground sign from 38 feet to 82 square feet. The height has been reduced to 18 feet in the request, however. Planning is supportive of the variances relating to setback, graphic area, and automatic changeable copy, but continues to request that the sign height be reduced to 6 feet in consistency with this Columbus citywide planning policies C2 guidelines. Division of Traffic Management is supportive of the variance to reduce setback requirement from 15 feet to 8 feet for this sign, as the setback reduction does not pose any vision clearance issues. The department's recommendation is that of approval, conditionally, however. Staff can recommend approval of the requested variances to allow a ground sign with automatic changeable copy and to reduce the setback of her ground sign from 15 feet to 8 feet, as the sign has been revised to emulate a monument style sign, bringing it more in line with C2B2 guidelines. As you can see here, this example on the right reflects that change. We have the apron at the bottom was added to visually make the sign appear as a monument. However, planning is still sticking to their guns on the issue of height. And staff continues to recommend disapproval of the variance to increase the height from 6 feet to 18 feet. However, and in turn, disapproval of the increasing graphic area, as the graphic area would be less than 82 square feet, which is what's been requested, if the sign was compliant in terms of height. So we are recommending approval of the requested variances with the condition that the height of the ground sign will be limited to 6 feet. Check.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Jim McFarland, Zoning Resources.
And you've been sworn in?
I have, thank you.
And are you okay with the condition recommended by city staff?
We are not.
Okay, go ahead and present your case.
We are under the understanding of last hearing that we had come to an agreement to reduce the overall height from 20 feet to 18 feet with staff review, as well as adding the apron around at the bottom to make the freestanding sign to way more compliant to the monument style. And that is what the applicant is willing to do. It is consistent with the competitor Marathon. And in fact, it's lower in height, as well as it has a farther setback from Marathon. Marathon is 2 feet setback, and the height of the sign is 20 feet. So we're not asking for anything higher or closer than what our competitor is having just to the north. So we do respect the review, but we do the client would like to maintain this 18-foot agreed upon height allowance, and with the area for the graphic, as well as the condition of adding the apron around the bottom of the 2 poles.
18 feet was when we thought this sign was in the same spot. If you remember, we thought the sign was in the existing location. At the end of the meeting, we realized that we're making a new sign anyway.
This is one we tabled previously.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think there was any agreement with Rebecca at the last meeting, because you weren't here. But that's my recollection.
Well, we had a whole conversation. We were under the impression that we were maintaining the same sign, the same location, and then we found that that's not the case.
Right.
And just as a reminder, the reason this was tabled was, again, to see if planning would be amenable to the changes. They are amenable to the change to create a visually
Monument sign or pole sign if it stayed in the same location.
Exactly, and that negates it. They are, however, still sticking to their guns on the height issue. That is the sticking point for them at this point.
Can you show me really fast where the existing sign is and where it's trying to be relocated?
Slide number 7 will show that.
That's where it is right now.
That's the previous location.
You zoom in on
And I believe you can see the sign here, judging by the shadow. So this is the existing sign, proposed new location here.
Can you go back to that last photo? Because in the back, way in the background, is that Marathon or is that one of the other competitors that?
That is Marathon, yes.
Why is it so important to move the sign?
Well, we want to try to pull back from the right of way further. We don't want to be as close as we are.
So it doesn't get hit again?
Yeah, we're trying to be more compliant to the code. 15 feet is a requirement for code, so we believe that 8-foot setback is better than 2 feet.
So you're making it somewhat less non-conforming.
Correct.
Aren't you moving it forward a few feet, like based on this? It's hard to, you're moving it what, a foot?
10 feet south of existing.
But east-west dimensions. The foot, two.
Yeah, it's 8. The blue bar is the proposed location, which is 10 feet further away from the existing sign, and it's 8 feet from the right of way.
So it's not very significant.
I'm kind of saying, you know, part of the definition of the variance is on the hardship cases is, has to do with your competitors, what they have, for one thing. And then the second thing is like, if it were a damaged sign, I always thought you could replace it as is, or less non-conforming, but keep all the elements as they
Always put in place so that we don't do that anymore, right? So we don't have all those giant signs marching down. So when somebody new comes in and puts a new sign in, we can start to correct the problem. New signs by attrition. So if Marathon ever comes, we'll fix it. Marathon. This is the-
But it's, so in other words, the hardship, I mean, they wouldn't have the hardship if they built it in the same place.
But we've also got a shrubbery issue.
You also have a what issue?
A shrubbery issue there on slide 7. We have landscaping that would block a 6-foot sign from visibility.
I mean,
Right, but it'd be one thing if you were moving it on the other side of the parking lot and a different, like, but you're moving it like 2 feet. I don't understand.
Well, that's where all of the services ran to the previous sign.
So, I mean, basically, the new sign is just like the old sign, same height, but same,
narrower,
maybe narrower. look
And
like
it's
maybe
2 feet
just a little
shorter.
bit square footage less.
And it's 2 feet shorter. And it's set back further from the right of way than the previous one was.
But you're also setting a precedent that allows people to redo a sign in a different location and still keep the existing specification.
And make it more conforming to monument style.
Well, does it? I mean, I thought
non-iconic style was again, we thought that they were replacing the exact same sign.
Right.
That was the.
Yeah, but like in the case of damaged non-conforming signs, can make them less non-conforming. And, yeah, I mean, it seems like that's kind of the situation here, probably like property rights. So if there was ever a question of a brand new gas station going in, they don't have that to go back on. You know, but I'm guessing if Shell sold that to some other, you know, some other entity, whatever, you know, all bets are off on the non-conforming thing to change.
Even if
it.
the line wasn't damaged?
No, legal non-conforming stays with use, but
Yeah, go to the paper place. You go to the existing photo, we don't regulate,
The existing photo.
the existing photo. Did Shell just recently buy this?
Yeah, no float oil.
So they got it. They just put a banner over top of that existing sign. They just want to make a new sign.
Yes,
Not damaged.
correct. And this one will put the graphic just above the shrubs and the bushes that are on the corner of the lot. Six feet, the pricer won't be visible running along that same route where Marathon's prices are very clearly displayed.
Marathon didn't come to us and present a case for moving the existing sign, though. They're grandfathered in just like you are.
We've also removed 3 of the variance requests, 3372, 706B, 706C2, 706C3 from the original request based upon the revisions to the application. So the only variance we're asking for is a setback variance of 8 feet in section C4, 706C4, 7.17.A, both related to setback distance, as well as the height variance from 706.C.5, and then the graphic area as well from 10.C and then 706.A under 3377 and 3372.
You would still require 3372.706 feet for the automatic changeable copy unless there is no.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still on, yeah.
That was 5, is that right? 5 variances.
It should be down to just 4, I believe. The automatic changeable copy, the setback to 8 feet, the increase in height to 18 feet, and the increase in graphic area to 82 square feet.
But isn't it, because it doesn't need one for the other street.
Oh, setback, correct.
It's an improvement. It's a significant improvement to what was there previously.
Unfortunately, it has to comply with the code and you need to be able to demonstrate a hardship for moving it 2 feet forward, which I haven't heard yet. Well, it may be an improvement that doesn't satisfy the elements of the code.
We don't have an option to go to the code in terms of setback. The parking lot doesn't have enough room to set a graphic 15 feet from right away.
We're not talking about the setback issue, we're talking about the height issue.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's clear.
Is there another number that would work that is not 6 feet?
That's a question for city staff.
Between 6 and 8.
Well, this is, how high is the existing? How
Existing. How tall are the bushes?
The bushes are right at 6 feet. Probably a little higher now since spring's come, they're growing.
Give me a try. I would unfortunately think you need to request the table again to work this out.
I think if we just have a height question, I'm glad for staff to make a recommendation. I can make a decision now if it's reasonable.
Well, they gave you a recommendation.
What's the issue with just wrapping the existing sign?
It's been damaged.
I thought we said this sign wasn't damaged.
In the previous presentation, I showed the pictures of the damage to the post. That's why it had to be replaced.
But I don't think it's any more, why would it be more expensive to place it in its existing spot versus in a new spot?
It's not really a question of expense. It's more of a question of logistics of being able to put a monument back in a location that's more compliant to code, that it allows for us to use existing underground utilities and not disturb the storage tanks that are there as well as other electrical. We want to use the same underground utilities that we can to be able to hook up to a better sign.
That's my point exactly. Wouldn't it be easier to tap into existing utilities knowing you can use the structure in place as opposed to relocating it?
If the structure wasn't damaged, I agree with you.
Man, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, we had it in the same place.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I hope.
Hmm?
May I speak? So, well, sure, you too. That's bad. Well, here's what we're thinking. That bush right there is the one that you're saying to block it.
Could
I don't think that's 6 feet. It looks like maybe 3. But
Yeah.
then if you had a slide, it looks like we're thinking a little sign without the base. It's 12, so 12 for 3.
I mean, I'm gonna have a hard time saying that any sort of shrub is a
Yeah.
detriment to the
Could,
sign.
we could, and I'm definitely taller than that.
Your choice. We can vote on it as presented in the application, or you can, we can table it for you to continue talking with city staff.
Okay, can I ask for, well, We'd prefer to have it continued if that's possible.
Well, that would be a table. We can make a motion to table it one more time to allow you to continue discussing the city staff.
Okay. We'll take
Can I have a motion to table this case?
A motion to table application number GC 23-045.
Second.
Okay, we can vote.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Ms. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Rumbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Panzeris?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Eaton? Yes. Case is tabled. Till next time. Please contact city staff. Next case, GC 24-006, 533 South Third Street. Please come forward.
I work with the attorney, yeah.
Thank you.
So for the record, Mr. Cavalier is introducing himself.
Won't be making any case.
Jamie, this is your case.
Correct.
Sit there.
Okay, 533 South Third Street is located on the northwest corner of South Third Street and East Foster Street. Site is zoned R2F residential and is located within the German Village. The site is developed with a 2,344 square foot office space. Surrounding uses are a mix of single and two-unit dwellings, offices, and eating and drinking establishments. The applicant proposes the installation of a projecting sign, requesting variance to increase the height from 6 feet to 16 feet 9 inches. The Division of Traffic Management has no comments, and the German Village Commission recommends approval. City staff is recommending approval as the site is developed in such a way that would prevent the installation of ground sign. We're not asking for any conditions. Sure.
If Mr. Cavaleris could just put his recusal on the record.
I think we did.
He kind of said it as he was walking out.
For the record, Mr. Cavaleris is recusing himself. Mr. Garbine, long time no see. Please state your name for the record.
Brian Garvine.
And have you been sworn in?
I have.
Go ahead and present your case.
Thank you. When I purchased the building, it was, when we went through the appraisal process, we learned that it wasn't zoned, commercial, was zoned residential, despite the fact that it had been used commercial for probably at least 30, 40, maybe 50 years. There have been other law, maybe even more than that. I don't know. There have been law firms in there, financial firms and so forth. So we got a variance to use the building commercially as it had been used for years and years and years. And then there was a non-conforming, unpermitted sign that the financial business had on there that's still there, which is going to be removed. And then my sign, the proposed sign that the German Village Commission, there you go, that sign will be removed. And that's an unpermitted sign. And my sign, which is approved by the German Village Commission, would be inserted. And in that area, which I'm sure you're familiar with, there are a lot of businesses, restaurants, bars, residences, and that there are other protruding signs in the area. So I don't think it would take away from the area at all. In fact, I think it'd be consistent with other businesses in the area.
Yeah, we're very familiar with this area. I used to work in law office, it was too far down. Does anyone have any questions? I would ask, but there's nobody else who could speak to this case. So,
You have to have a hardship on the record.
yes, we do. Would someone like to make a motion? You could do it.
Motion to approve application number GC 24-006. Yeah.
I think what Ms. Augustine was saying is that based on what's been offered already, there was nothing related to a hardship.
Oh, I
She was asking for the applicant to maybe articulate what the hardship.
I am sorry, I misunderstood what you
Have I mischaracterized?
Nope, that's fine.
My fault.
I was like, maybe I thought something missed. Okay.
Oh,
So you just have to say. Jeff.
yes. The hardship would be, I think that's the only, other than the sign in the location that it is right now, there's no other place to put the sign because of the way that the business is built. There's a brick wall out there that, it's the side of the brick wall that's on the sidewalk is not within my property. So it would either have to be on the brick wall or protruding the way that it is. That's the only place you could put a sign.
I'll take it.
There's also, it's presented in the application as well. Yeah.
Motion to approve,
Based on that, can I have a motion to approve the finding of the fact?
motion to approve application number UC 24-006 for finding of the facts.
I'll second. Vote.
Ms. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Rumbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes, and can I have a motion to approve the application based on finding of fact?
I'll make a motion to approve application GC 24006.
In a second.
Second. Mr. Rumbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Boyd?
Yes.
Ms. Augustine?
Yes.
Chair Freeman?
Yes, your application's approved.
Thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen? That's it. Okay, I gotta run to my stuff, okay. See you, buddy. See you guys.
Thanks for administering the other part.
Yeah, thank you for all the